Hello, we are from Nation Voice Party. My name is Ribda Alipa.
My name is Wilda Paramitasari.
I am Putri Aisyah.
I am Nabila.
I am Rahmi Rahmawati.
We will deliver our vision and mission for the well-being of our nations. Thank you. Crime and punishment. First, would you bring in the death penalty? If so, for which crime? If I were selected, yes, I would bring death penalty for serious crimes such as serial murder, illegal drugs dealer, and also a huge amount of corruption. Second, would you send more people to prison? Yes, if I were selected, I would send more people who break the law to the prison. Because if I got strict to people who don't obey the law, hopefully it will decrease the crime rates. Third, would you have longer sentence? Yes, if I were selected, I would set longer sentence for people who deserve it and would not give any mercy if it needed. Fourth, would you send children to prison? Yes, if I were selected, I would send children who break the law to the prison, with the point that the children's prison will be different from the adult one because the children still deserve an education even at the prison. The reason is, if I don't do so, some children would think they are free to do anything, even breaking the law, because they won't worried about getting to prison. Fifth, what would you do to combat corruption in all government institutions? If I were selected to combat corruption on the government, I would set a heavy and serious punishment for the corruptors, so they won't think about doing it. Also, there won't be any place anymore for the corruptors in the government, and they will be fired and blacklisted instantly from any government's position. 6. What would you do to combat the drug spreading to this country? If I were selected to combat drug spreading in this country, I would set proper punishment for both the drug dealers and the users. I also will make a free fund movement for the citizens so they won't think about doing drugs.
Health. 7. Would you make medical care free for all people? If so, how would you pay for it? If I were selected, I will make medical care free for people who need it. I will make a budget from government funds for medical costs. I will make medical care free for medical personnel and for people who are affected by natural disaster or are seriously ill but their economic situation is not sufficient.
8. Would you make medical centers improve their service? If I were selected, I would improve medical centers because if I improve service in the health sector, I would be able to increase the number of people who are healthy and have a strong immune system.
9. What would you do to improve the medical care and service in rural and isolated areas? If I were selected, I would try to provide treatment and medical equipment for rural and isolated areas, and I will provide knowledge about medical care and service in the rural and isolated areas.
Politics. 10. What would you if American diplomats were found to be spying in Indonesia? What about for Malaysia, Israel, and Chinese spies? If I were selected, I would immediately kill the spies that are found. I wouldn't compensate the spies for all countries, including America, Malaysia, Israel, and Chinese. 11. Why would you declare war? If I were selected, I would declare war when my country is attacked by other countries and feel threatened by other countries. 12. Would you send soldiers to help Indonesian people in danger in other countries? If I were selected, I would send soldiers to help Indonesian people in danger in other countries while it's possible, because they are citizens who must be protected.
Education. 13. What age do you think all students should study from or until? I think learning is an important thing that must be done by every child from small to adult according to their age level. So I think all students must learn from 6 until 7 years old until they reach their adult at 17 years old. For the student who cannot participate in learning because of their economic limitation, I will build a small that can be occupied for free for the learning facilities of children who are unable to carry out their education. 14. What would you do for teachers' welfare? If I were selected, I will give teachers the proper pay not only in the form of money, but I will make teachers will always be appreciated by the student. 15. Would you make all Indonesian children learning foreign language? If so, which? If I were selected, I would introduce the importance of learning foreign language and also I will provide adequate facilities for those who want to learning foreign language, and hopefully it would make them interested in learning a foreign language. And also, if I were selected, I would make all Indonesian children learn English because it's the most used language in the world.
Environment 16. If I were selected to overcome air and water pollution in Jakarta, I would do an environmental cleaning such as dispose of any junk. And to overcome the air pollution, I would make an announcement for Jakarta citizens to use public transportation, use masks, and not to burn trash. I would also plant anti-pollutants plants to reduce the air pollution. 17. If I were selected for the forest logging and land firing, I would keep monitoring to prevent that from happen and not hesitate to take strong action for the culprit. 18. If I were selected to improve the environment of culture and tourism, I would enhance the completion of infrastructure projects, encourage tourist attraction, improve the quality of amenities, strengthen tourist promotion, encourage investment, and set up standards of tourist management procedure.
Culture and tourism. Will you promote Indonesian culture product to the world? If so, for which culture products? If I were selected, yes, I will promote Indonesian product to the world, such as batik and various Indonesian foods like nasi goreng, rendang, gado-gado, and soto. How will you protect and maintain the valuable traditional culture of Indonesia? If I were selected, I will protect and deepen Indonesian culture because Indonesian culture is a valuable culture and a characteristic of Indonesian. So, I will protect Indonesian culture by introducing it to the world and to our children and grandchildren, so that Indonesian culture will remain the same in the future. And if anyone made fun of Indonesian culture, I will give a proper punishment to them.
Thank you for the attention. Don't forget to vote our party. Bye!